Hi there, everyone. The combined wolf packs are getting ready to move back to Alaska. Remember Alaskan Bush People? One of the most famous TV shows that changed the story, or maybe even the way you watch reality shows. Did you ever think about what happened to them since the show went on break and didn't come back? Don't think anymore. Hold on tight, because we're about to go on an adventure as we uncover the secrets of Alaskan bush. Some people cast dead or jailed cast members. The Alaskan Bush People. Alaskan Bush People is an American reality TV show in the style of a docudrama. It thrills viewers by showing the rough lives of the Brown family as they try to stay alive in the harsh conditions of a remote desert. The first episode of the show aired on the Discovery Channel on May 6, 2014, and it became so famous very quickly that more episodes had to be made. There is a reality TV show about a family of 9 people who choose to give up their easy life so that they can learn how to live with problems by relying only on each other's help. It shows the many problems a family faces when they try to stay alive in the wilderness, where there are few supplies, animals, and little to no food. To stay alive. Instead of the safety they left behind, the family shelter is just one room. And, unfortunately, they made it by hand, but it wasn't to their liking, because that's what they had on hand. There is more excitement in getting food, because the men are the only ones who have to go out into the field and fish or hunt for food. The only thing left for the family to do is find food in the Alaskan wild. They might also find mushrooms, berries, or other plants based on what they find. They have to deal with this while going about their daily lives as if nothing happened. If they couldn't find the food they wanted in the bush, Amy Brown, who is responsible, went out to buy it. What's really strange is that Amy only buys those things twice a month, and if they run out of stock in the month after she buys it, they will have to figure something out on their own. People were talking about this show all the time, and each episode was so exciting that fans couldn't let themselves miss a second. Fans were really into the show, but it ended just as they were getting hooked. There were rumors that the TV show was canceled because of a number of things going on behind the scenes. And so far, fans have been left with a small bit of hope that it will come back. But their hopes don't seem to have come true, and fans no longer think about the show. Instead, they wonder what happened to the Brown family. Since the news came out that the TV show would be ending, things have been good and bad for the Brown family. From clear changes to sudden losses and personal triumphs, the Browns have experienced some things that can only happen to people since the show began. Let's look more closely at what happened to the rest of the family group. Boy Brown. I don't know if they are dead or in jail. I don't know what to say. That goes well together. Bill Brown, who is the head of the Brown family, is at the top of the list. Bill Brown was born in Fort Worth, Texas on December 3, 1952. His childhood was very different from that of his children because he grew up in a nice upper-middle-class neighborhood. Unfortunately, Billy's life was full of bad things that made him run away to the Alaskan bush. It was a terrible disaster when his father, mother, and sister died in a plane crash when he was only 16. While he was still trying to get over the pain, he was forced to leave his family, which was a negative experience. In the end, it meant he gave up his claim to the family wealth. Billy spent his teenage years traveling across the country. When he couldn't find anything solid, he settled down to work as a professional fisherman in the North Pacific. Not long after that, he met his lovely wife, Amy. Together, they had 7 kids: Matthew, Joshua, Bear, Gabrielle, Noah, Snow, and Rain. Billy took his family into the wilds of Alaska. But it wasn't easy. He was the star of the docudrama reality show Alaskan Bush People for 12 seasons before his sad death. He was often called the show's powerhouse. Not until 2019 did people find out that Billy had been having serious lung problems for years. At first, people thought Billy's breathing problems were caused by his lungs, but a doctor later told them it was actually his heart that was getting weaker. For his health's sake, doctors told him over and over to leave the high mountains. But Billy, who was always a mountain man, said no. His son says that he told his family that he would rather die on the land he loved than live somewhere else. Billy passed away on February 7, 2021, after having a sudden seizure. He was 68 years old. It broke our hearts to say that our beloved father, Billy Brown, died last night, Bear Brown wrote on Instagram, after suffering from a seizure. He was our best friend, a wonderful and loving dad, granddad, and husband, and he will be dearly missed. He lived his life on his terms, off the grid and on the land, and taught us to do the same. We plan to honor his legacy and continue his dream going forward. We ask for your privacy and prayers during this difficult time. God bless everyone. This was a huge blow not just to the Alaskan Bush family, but to everyone who had followed the show from inception. It was a difficult moment for the Alaskan Bush cast members, but just as expected, they didn't fail to honor what their father had told them. In a first look at the upcoming season 13 of the Discovery Family series, Billy's wife Amy Brown and their daughters Rain and Snowbird, as well as sons Bear, Matt, Bam Bam, Gabe, and Noah, reflect on his legacy. Dad always told us one day we would have to carry on without him, begins Bam Bam. But we weren't ready for him to go. Amber Branson. Amber Nicole Branson was born on the 8th of February, 1976, in Wichita Falls, Texas. She is the daughter of Larry Renee Branson of Springtown and Judy Diane. She was a kind and generous person with a big heart, loved and admired by many. She was a pure representation of calmness in its entirety. She began showcasing her skills in the early seasons of the Alaskan Bush reality TV show. Appearing in just a few episodes, Amber got married to her husband, Sean Austin, and together they had 2 children, Braden Austin and Jace Austin. However, she later parted ways with him for reasons best known to her, and up until the day of her passing, they never reconciled. As time went on, she was plagued with mental health issues, and in a bid to salvage the situation, she fell into the welcoming hands of substance use. She tried her best to curtail the problem, and for the first few years, it looked like she was winning the battle until she relapsed. Amber started the fire at her home in Hudson Oaks, Texas. According to Amy's brother, Les Branson, he told reporters that local police were called to check on a woman lying face down in her front yard. When police arrived on the scene, they found Amber with severe burns over 90% of her body. He said she told the police that her injuries were self-inflicted. When questioned why, she said it was a faith test. Amber reportedly shared the home with her boyfriend, but it is unclear whether he was present at the time of the incident. However, her boyfriend later found an empty can of gasoline that had been in the garage tossed over a neighbor's fence. When asked directly what she had used to light the fire, Amber reportedly said, "insect repellent." Amber was taken to a Dallas hospital and rushed to the burn center when police found her. According to Les, her injuries were deemed non-S survivable according to doctors. After being taken off life support at the family's request on April 30th, she succumbed to her injuries early the next day. Friends and family couldn't wrap their heads around the tragedy, but expressed how grieved they were upon hearing of her painful demise. She was a kind, generous person with a big heart who was loved and admired by many, but who unfortunately also suffered from a debilitating disease. She will live in our hearts forever. Amy Brown couldn't hold up for too long because it seems there was a bond that held them together as she was her niece. Stricken by this news, the Alaskan Bush cast members struggled to keep up the flow, and amazingly, they managed to scale through it. Bear Brown. The next on the list is Bear Brown, who happens to be one of the sons of the patriarch Billy Brown. Bear Brown was born as Solomon Isaiah Freedom Brown on June 10, 1987. He is the third son of Billy Brown and Amy Brown and also the first to have been raised in Alaska.